Okay, let's continue with the word of the Most High. We in Isaiah 47. And remember the Most High told them in verse 5, sit thou silent and be quiet, shut up, and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, who is the virgin daughter of Babylon, who we identified as the Edomites in these last days. For thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. See, I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance. See, he polluted his inheritance. Remember, it says we got polluted by being with the Israelites, excuse me, being as the Israelites, dealing with these other nations, following the way of the heathen. He says, and given them into thine hand. He gave us into their hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Here they say, didn't show us no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. The old people worked until their bones came out of the skin, and they worked till they died in slavery. And thou sayest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thine heart, to thy mind, neither didst remember the latter end of it. See? Therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwelleth carelessly, that saith in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. So let me go back. Therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwelleth carelessly, that saith in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Now I say, I'll put it in your face again. They say, I am, right? They say, I am, and none else beside me. Right? Or for you that think I am is the Most High, they said, I am. That's the Holy Bible. That's the first picture you see is Edomite saying that they're the Most High, and none else beside me. But I want to go to, we got the description of a Mashiach Yahushua. We know that's a lie. So go to John 8:53. They asked the Mashiach Yahushua a question when he was here in the flesh. Say John 8:53. Art thou greater than our father Abraham, which is dead, and the prophets are dead? Whom makest thou thyself? Who you think you are? So verse 58. Say John 8:58. He told them. Mashiach said unto them, verily, verily, truly, truly, I say unto you, before Abraham was even coming to this earth, I am. Okay? So they just said, I am and none else beside me. They put themselves up as I am. The Most High, they put themselves as Mashiach Yahushua, whichever one you want to choose. I say that the angel of the Most High identified himself first, who was a Mashiach Yahushua, the spirit of the Most High, the same one we read about in Genesis, the first chapter, the first verse. We know as in all of us that know Hebrew, it says, in the beginning, Elohim created the heavens and the earth. The second verse, the spirit of the Most High moved upon the waters to start to create. That's a Mashiach Yahushua. As the Most High said in Ephesians 3:9, the mystery of the Most High, something unknown to the Most High, who created all things by Hamashiach Yahushua. I mean, it is what it is. As an angel of the Most High, the spirit of the Most High. But you got to be spiritual to understand what it is that I'm saying to you. But it's real easy when you understand and start to look for him and see him. You say, seek ye out of the book of the Most High and read. You say, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me. You don't seek him, how you going to know him? It says, search the scripture. In them you think ye have eternal life, and they are they that testify of me. But they have said what? I am and none else beside me. They have said they are. The Most High, Mashiach Yahushua, whichever one you want to choose. Isaiah 47:9. But these two things shall come unto thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood, and they shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries. All this going back to Babylon in Egypt. Sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments, psychics and all that. But thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me, not knowing that the eyes of the Most High are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men and the secret things. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am. You just said in their mind, I'm the Most High. You can't deny it. I've shown it to you in the Bibles. I got a lot of Bibles that have pictures in it. That's my favorite one. That's why I like to show it. But that's good enough. Look, this a picture worth 1,000 words. They have said, I am, and none else beside me. Who else? Who else you can pick up a Bible and say, okay, here go to all the Chinese in this Bible. The first picture you see is a Chinaman saying that he's God, he's the Most High, and he's the Mashiach Yahushua, and all the children of Israel and everybody that's in the Bible is Chinese, or Japanese, or East Indians, or Arabs, or somebody. Where's that at? Where that at? I haven't seen no Bibles like that. I did a show on Bibles. I got all the Bibles there. I had, everybody had. I collected all Bibles. They were stacked up on this side, stacked on that side. Going through all of them, looking at what they were saying. And pictures. It was always them. You know, you got a Black Inheritance Bible. That's a new Bible that came out, you know. But there was Hamites in there. They saying we Ham. It's Ham and Shem. How you gonna be Ham and Shem? It's twisted. So it says, verse 10, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Hear that? Thou hast said, none seeth me. Remember it tells you in Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 7? Wisdom of Solomon 5 is, I trusted in thy wickedness, right? Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 7. This is in the end. We rid ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. It all goes together, y'all. Yeah, we have gone through desert where there lay no way. But as for the way of the Most High and of Mashiach Yahushua, we have not known it. Period. They wearied themselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. It said, but thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it rises, and mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not know, be able to put it off. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. That's the future prophecy from the Most High. Stand now with thine enchantments. Now you're going to clown them. Stand now with your enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. Always believed in this. Look at the dollar bill. It shows you. If so be thou shall be able to profit. If so be thou mayest prevail from what the Most High say he's going to do. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels, having counsels all the time. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and say thee from these things that shall come upon thee. All the things that you believe in. Remember, all the gods of the nations are idols. All these things you believe in, let them stand up and protect you from the judgment of the Most High. He's saying here, behold, they shall be as stubble in the end. The fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor fire to sit before it. Thus shall they be unto thee with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants from thy youth. They shall wander every one to his quarter. None shall save thee. That's these merchants. Go to Revelation 18. Wow, went right there. Verse 4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people. Come out of the ways, the thoughts, and the patterns of thinking with their image. The projection that they have brought upon you to think like them. He said, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins. You don't want to be the partakers of her sins. And that ye receive not of her plagues. That's why people join unto them. You're going to fall with them. That's what it's telling you. Isaiah 13, 14, and 15. I'm not just saying something that scripture don't say. You say, come out of her, the mindset. And anyone that's looking at it, don't matter who it is, what nation it is. You looking at that wickedness, you come out of that wickedness. Period. But Yasharallah first. That you receive not of her plagues, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities. Hear that? That's why I tell you in Amos 9 and 8, Most High remember her iniquity, what she have done. All these wickedness that's going on. Until this day. It's going to be until the end. But the Most High going to destroy this place. Amos 9 and 8. Behold, the eyes of the Most High, which are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the way of men and even the secret things. The eyes of the Most High power are upon the sinful kingdom, America, and all other kingdoms that's following the way of wickedness. And I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, he said. Saving, he going to save somebody, that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, the family of Jacob, the 12 tribes of Israel, 1/3, said the Most High. For lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations. Because we scattered among all nations. So we're going to sift us like as corn is sifted in a seed. Yet shall not the least, which is the 1/3 of the 12 tribes of Israel, grain fall upon the earth. The least going to be redeemed. You're going to say, come up hither. Chariots going to come down to get the 1/3 of the 12 tribes of Israel. They're going to go up in the sky. They ain't going to fall to the earth. All the sinners of my people shall die. Hear that? Oh, the Most High. Oh, the Most High. He hate the sin, but he loved the sinner. No, he don't. I don't know where you get that from. It's not in the Bible. It's not from what we have gone over and seen. No. Ain't nowhere in the world you can say that. Ecclesiastes 12 and 6. In the Apocrypha. Ecclesiasticus 12 and 6. And I showed you that's in the King James 6:11 Bible. For the Most High hateth sinners. You don't lie to the people. Most High hate the sin, but he loved the sinner. Are you serious? That's why y'all going to be dealt with. For the Most High hateth sinners, according to as it is written. For the Most High hateth sinners. You hear that? Those that break his laws, that's disobedient to his laws, and will repay vengeance unto the unrighteous. Those that don't keep his laws, statutes, commandments. He going to repay vengeance unto you and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment. Keeping you for the mighty day of your punishment. Amos 9 and 10. All the sinners, those that break the laws of the Most High of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. Ain't that gonna happen to us. Because the Most High love me. Even though I sin, the Most High love me. Because you've been lied to. See, that's the problem. See, our people, they love, look, go to, speaking of that, go to Isaiah, the 30th chapter. We'll come back to Revelation 18. Go to, this is our people right here. We've been lied to. They train our children to worship devils. You got to reprogram them not to believe in what they have been programmed in their curriculum to think and follow. This is our people, the Israelites. Isaiah 30 and 9. That this is a rebellious people, lying children. Why they lying? Because they are goats. They following the way of, he said, come out of her, my people. They still in there. They still in the way of the people that the Most High telling us not to be like. They're the wicked. It says evil will multiply in the earth when it came into power. We read that in 1 Maccabees, the 1st chapter, the 9th verse. And the things that they done. From verse 41 down. Understand this, overstand this. This real, people. This is sad, but it's real. It's a lucky. This is our people. How they think. Isaiah 30 and 9. That this is rebellious people, lying children, lying out the side of their neck. Children that will not hear the law of the Most High. That's so prevalent because we're taught that we're not under the law in these different religions. What religion is teaching the laws of the Most High, the moral laws, the civil laws, the dietary laws, the ceremonial laws, sacrificial laws? We know we're not under sacrificial law anymore, but which religion is teaching that? So you review it and know what day that we're going to celebrate, feast day that we're going to celebrate next, and what day it is. And what the next feast day is, the next feast day, next feast day, next feast day. When we're going to have a good time. The time that we party for 7, 8 days. When is that? Not just one day. But y'all know when the next holiday coming up, Halloween. Y'all know that date. But you know the days that the Most High, these are my feasts. And we had days that we celebrated because we got the victory over our enemies. So we're going to, have a good time in remembrance of that. But what do we say? Verse 10, which say to the seers, see not, don't be looking at us. You don't see me, spirit. And to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things. They won't hear the right things. Speak unto us smooth things. Prophesy deceits. Make up some lies. They love to hear lies. Get you out of the way. Turn aside out of the path. Cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. See? Wherefore thus say the Most High, the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word, you despise this word, you don't want to hear what is coming out of this Bible, and trust in oppression, you want to follow the way, you want to be under the shadow of the wicked ones that's set up to send you straight to hell with them, because you despise this word and trust in oppression and perverseness, and stay thereon. You want to stay thereon. Therefore, this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in the high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant when he destroy you. And he shall break it as the breaking of the potter's vessel. Like you take a potter's vessel and throw it to the ground, and it just scatter all over the place. He shall not spare, so that there shall not be found in the bursting of it a shred, or take fire from the hearth, or to take water withal out of the pit, because he's going to destroy you. That's what he's saying. Well, y'all think the Most High, y'all don't really know the power. Y'all don't even know, y'all really don't know the power. That I'm talking about, that I'm reading about in this Bible. You better understand, overstand. Look what he said. Somebody need to hear this. I don't think people don't fear the Most High. They don't fear the Most High. Better hear the word of the Most High. You don't hear anything else. He says, one of my favorites, Ezekiel 22 and 20. My high priest Yeshua brought this one. He said, as they gather silver and brass and iron and lead and tin into the midst of the furnace to blow the fire upon it, to make it hot as it could be, to melt it, so will I gather you in my anger and in my fury, and I will leave you there and melt you. You hear that? He said, I'm going to leave you there and melt you. This is who I serve. Yeah, I will gather you and blow upon you in the fire of my wrath, and ye shall be melted in the midst thereof. As silver is melted in the midst of the furnace, so shall ye be melted in the midst thereof. And ye shall know that I, the Most High, have poured out my fury upon you. Thus say the Most High. Don't play with the Most High. It's a fearful thing to tell you in Hebrews 10:31. It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. Listen, going back to Revelation 18. Verse 4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Got to come out of the mindset. Not follow the sins that they saying it's okay in this world. Because the plague's coming. You ask somebody that's been through a tornado or a hurricane, the fires, how everything ain't got nothing left. It's melted. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you. Hear that? Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. Right? So, he's telling you. Now, the Most High is fair. Because when you go to Isaiah 40, he said, give her double, right? Like we seen how Most High say you're going to dash their children against the stones, because our children I showed you a picture of where our children were being dashed against the stones. So he said, Isaiah 40:1, he said, comfort ye, my people, said the Most High. Said your power, That's a personal possessive pronoun showing ownership. Your power. Children of Israel. Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem, which are the children of Israel. That's where we come from. And cry unto her that her warfare is accomplished, that her iniquity, our wickedness, is pardoned. See? You're going to pardon our wickedness, our iniquity. For she hath received of the Most High's hand double for all her sins. See? So we receive double. And we the chosen people of the Most High. So what you think? You're going to do all the things you do and you're not going to get it? Oh, yeah. Revelation 18:6. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her. For she said in her heart, I sit a queen. Like we read in Isaiah 47. I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Right? Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine. And she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Most High power who judges her. He just told you, he's going to melt you. The kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her. They're going to be crying over seeing their most precious America perish. They're going to bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. That's all it's going to take of Mount Shai to destroy this place in 1 hour. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her. Remember, they're going back to their quarters. It said in Isaiah 47 chapter. They're going to be weeping and wailing over her. But no man buy of her merchandise anymore. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and of fine linen, purple and silk and scarlet and all fine wood and all manner of vessels of ivory and all manner of vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beast and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. All these things right here in America. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee. And all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee. And thou shalt find them no more at all. Everything that they love is going to be taken away from them. They're not going to find them no more at all. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing. All the merchants, all the ships that sell into America, they'll stand afar, they're going to stand far away from America, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city of America, that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour, so great riches has come to naught, so great riches come to nothing. Every shipmaster and all the company of ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off. They ain't trying to be near America this time. and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? What country is like unto this great country, America? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city, wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea, by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. Rejoice over her, thou heaven and ye apostles and prophets, for the Most High have avenged you on her. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down. Hear that? With violence shall America be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. And the voice of harpers and musicians and the pipers and the trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee. And no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee. And the sound of the millstone plants shall be heard no more at all in thee. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee. And the voice of the bridegroom, men that's trying to get married, and of the bride, women that's trying to get married, shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth. For by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. You hear that? By thy sorceries are all nations deceived to this day. And in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints, children of Israel, and of all that were slain upon the earth. Don't blame it on them. It'll be found right there with them. So now, because it tells you, you read Edom, Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, it says Edom figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures as a scene of great future judgment. You see Isaiah 34, 5 and 6, and Isaiah 63, 1 down. So I'm looking at, do the devil have access to your mind? He said, come out of her, my people. Come out of the mindset. Some of you can't leave. Some of us can't leave to go anywhere. You see? But it's very important that we come back to the Most High in His laws, statutes, commandments, be obedient to His voice. He said, I'm going to burn you up. Look. Isaiah 13. The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amoz did see. See? Verse 13. It says, therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of the Most High power of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. You hear this? And it shall be as a chased roe. It will be as a chased deer. And as a sheep that no man taketh up. Ain't nobody want to be bothered with them. Then shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one into his own land. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through. Everybody gonna be getting away from them. Everyone that's found shall be thrust through. And everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. You join unto them, you're gonna fall by the sword. No matter how you look at it. You join unto them, you're gonna fall by the sword. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. That's why I say, that's what happened to our children. Remember? He that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he hath done, and there is no respect of person. That's why the Most High said, a lot of y'all say, oh no, I didn't do anything. Isaiah 14:21, it said, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers. You see? So, that's what happened to us. You know, I just have to bring it on home because, you know, it's like all the things that's been done, it's like there's no judgment. There is a judgment. That's why you got to rebuke the devil out of your mind so that you're not caught up with being in darkness. being confused. So Lamentations 5 and 7. Say, our fathers, that's our forefathers, have sinned. They broke the laws of the Most High. They was wicked. We read about it. And are not. They're not here. And we, that's living today, have borne or carried their iniquities. You see? We carried their iniquities. Say servants. All these nations supposed to be servants to us. Have ruled over us. All these nations ruled over us. There is none that does deliver us out of their hand. Ain't no man gonna save us. Deuteronomy 28:29. So going back to Isaiah 13. Verse 16. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled and their wives ravished. Their wives ravished. Meaning they're gonna be plundered. Verse 19, and Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. We just talked about how the Most is going to take 1 hour, they're going to burn them up. It shall never be inhabited. That's why I say by the time you get to Revelation, you're supposed to know all this. It shall never be inhabited. Neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. This place ain't going to never be dwelt in. Ain't nobody going to live here ever. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there. You know, ain't no Arab, this ain't talking about over there in Saudi Arabia or anywhere over there. Neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. The wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and the dragons in their pleasant places, and her time is near to come. And her days shall not be prolonged. Also, I letting you know. The time is near to come. That's why you go to Isaiah 14 and 1, for the Most High will have mercy on Jacob. Then you destroy them, the land, and the people that's wicked on the land. All the people gonna join their own people to go to their own land. They're gonna be ones that gonna be gathered, the remnant that's gonna be gathered together to work in the kingdom. The Most High will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land once he destroyed this place. He's going to set us in our own land, and the strangers, these other nations, shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. They're going to be cleaving to us. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Most High for servants and handmaids. Hear that? For men slaves and women slaves, working in the kingdom for the children of Israel, under the power of the Most High, the Mashiach Yahushua, and the angels. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were. And they shall rule over their oppressors. You see? And it shall come to pass in the day that the Most High shall give thee rest from thy sorrow. This one we got to rest, brothers and sisters. This ain't our rest right now. He going to give us rest in this day when all this go down. From our sorrow and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage, hard slavery, hard oppression, wherein thou was made to serve, because we broke the laws of the Most High. It didn't matter if we was righteous or wicked. We still went into captivity. So if the Most High, he chose the Israelites now, and he did this concerning his chosen people, the only people that he know, how do you think in your wildest dream that it's not going to happen to all these other nations? Make that make sense to me. I'm waiting. Or you're not the chosen people. We're not the chosen people. They are. We're not. But he said what he said. This is what he said. Ezekiel 21 and 2. Son of man, set thy face toward Jerusalem and drop thy word toward the holy places and prophesy against the land of Israel. The land don't have any power. We live in the land, the children of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel, and say to the land of Israel, thus saith the Most High, behold, I am against thee, and I will draw forth my sword out of his sheath, and will cut off from thee the righteous and the wicked. Hear that? He cut off from the land of Israel, going into captivity, slavery, and bondage, the righteous and the wicked. Seeing then that I will cut off from thee the righteous and the wicked, therefore shall my sword go forth out of its sheath against all flesh, from the south to the north, from the south to the north, that all flesh may know that I, the Most High, have drawn forth my sword out of its sheath. It shall not return any more. There it is. So he took the righteous and the wicked of his only people that he know into captivity, slavery, and bondage. So that's why when you see, there's no marvel when you see Jeremiah 30:16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured. All them that devoured us gonna be devoured. And all thine adversary, which is all our enemies, every one of them shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil. And all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. Say, for I will restore health unto thee. So all these nations going into captivity. I mean, that's why I say it's like, I guess how Esau was in having us enslaved makes people have a certain spirit about going into a righteous kingdom. But you don't know that they never knew the way of the Most High. As we just seen in Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 7, I know a couple of times today. So in righteousness, it's going to be different. But you're going to learn what it is that's coming out of this Bible. You better believe that. Or you're going to perish. Simple as that. You can choose life or death. But that death is going to be, hey, something you ain't ready for. Say, for I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, said the Most High, because they called thee an outcast, saying, this is Zion, this the 12 tribes of Israel, whom no man seeketh after. Thus said the Most High, behold, I will bring again the captivity of Jacob's tents and have mercy on his dwelling place. We just read how the Most High going to have mercy on Jacob. Show me where the Most High saying going to have mercy on Edom. He's going to have mercy on Elam. He's going to have mercy on Ham, Ishmael, Moab, Ammon. Name them. As nation, who? No. Most High saying going to have mercy on Jacob and yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. Thus say the Most High, behold, I will bring again the captivity of Jacob's tent and have mercy on his dwelling places. And the city shall be built upon her own heap, and the palace shall remain after the manner thereof. And out of them shall proceed thanksgiving and the voice of them that make merry. And I will multiply them. He said, one gonna bring forth 1,000. He said, gonna multiply us, and they shall not be few. I will also glorify them, and they shall not be small. Their children also shall be as aforetime, and their congregation shall be established before me, and I will punish all that oppress them. And their nobles, the people that we have over us, shall be of themselves, and their governor shall proceed from the midst of them. And I will cause him to draw near, and he shall approach unto me. For who is this that is engaged his heart to approach unto me, said the Most High. That's the loving kingdom, right? So that's beautiful, man. So I don't know why anybody wouldn't want to be in a righteous kingdom compared to what you get ready to go through now. You ain't saying nothing. But these prophecies going to happen. Now I want to deal with one more thing before we close out. And that's because it's all about what this topic is about. It's real, it's real, it's real. It's real, it's real, it's real. Do the devil have access to your mind? Do the devil have access to your mind, the way you think? My friend, Matthew 25 and 31. When the Son of Man shall come into his glory and all his holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. He coming with 200 million angels. And before him shall be gathered all nations. Listen at this. Before him will be gathered all nations. And he shall separate them one for... Why? How are you going to separate? Why would he separate these nations if it's okay to be integrated? He said he shall separate them one from another as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Now, you've heard this before. But he said when the Son of Man come, he's going to separate all the nations. That's why you go to Deuteronomy 32, 8 and 9. He bringing it back the way the Most High set it up. Separated all the nations. He gave all... You can look at the back of the Bibles, different maps. See if I have any maps in this Bible. You'll see that the Most High, you'll see the Edom, you'll see different lands that the Most High gave these other nations. See? See here, you can see. Before I read the scripture, you're going to see that it makes a lot of sense. Deuteronomy 32, 8 and 9. So when the Mashiach shall come back, he's separating all the nations as a sheep, as a shepherd divided his sheep from the goats. Right? Deuteronomy 32 and 8. That's what the Most High did. When the Most High divided to the nations, hear that? He divided to the nations their inheritance. Divided to the nations their lands that they're going to be in. When he separated, see that? Separate. That's why Mashiach was coming back and making it the way it's supposed to be. When he separated the sons of Adam, we all come from Adam. We know in the beginning of this lesson it was about Shem, Ham, and Japheth, who we come from. When he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. See? For the Most High's portion is his people. Jacob is a lot of his inheritance. So he gave all the nations their land, as I just showed you. Edom and Ammon and Moab, different nations, you know, the Caucasians, the Chinese and the Japanese and Arabia. He gave to Ishmael and East Indians. Elam gave them their land, and Ham, the land of Africa, parts of that, you know. So he separated all the nations. He integrated the nations. He separated all the nations. That's when Mashiach Shai coming back. That's what he's going to do. First thing he said, he's going to separate all the nations, one from another, as a shepherd divided his sheep from the goats. Verse 33, and he shall set the sheep on his right hand. This is Matthew 25 and 33. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. So that's why I say, you got to... Do the devil have access to your mind? The way you think? Well, you're going to separate the sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left, right? Now, he told you in Matthew 15:24, but he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. The sheep are the children of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel. So you can put the Israelites on the right hand, you can put the goats on the left. Now, just because you're an Israelite don't mean that you're not a goat. Remember, Daniel 8:21.